Hey guys, today I have something for you that's of great significance. And I say that with words, yet I'm pointing to something beyond words. In reality, using language to point at reality, to point at what we are, is cumbersome at best. Words for most can lead to a significant loss of life and vitality. In fact, some say I love you so often that they have forgotten what the words are pointing at. When you say I love you to your children and your loved ones, those words are not it. The love you hold for them is being pointed at with those words. When we mistake love for those words, I love loses its flavor, its vigor, its strength, and all of its meaning. Reality is the sense of this depth of union, longing, helplessness, protectiveness, romance, tenderness, empathy, tolerance, and so many other qualities that are of so much significance is an energy within us that's almost impossible to capture with words. Yet we see it in a look as much as in words. You can see it in someone's eyes, in their mannerism. You can hear it in their voice, the sound, not necessarily the words. You can see it in their expression towards another, their body language. So love is not words. In reality, it's not words. But we do our best to point at this clumsy, linear language, this linear communication system, to point with it to something that is beyond it. So the issue is, what if our true nature is one without time? If it is without time, it will not be easy to point at with a linear language system that, by its very nature, it has a beginning and an end, and thus it drags time into it. But really, we are pure awareness, pure formless awareness, which is unnameable. It's a pure I amness. What does this I amness manifest when it awakens in someone? What I call the awakened silence. What deeds, desires, actions, and intelligence of the blessed human who falls back on it, what does that manifest within them and thus all around them? You see, we are used to love being in boxes. The love of a friendship, the love of self, the love of a romance, of a parent or a child, etc. These loves are valuable and beautiful, but they are not without conditions. You might say that this is not so, that you love your child without condition. Yet if you investigate this, you will see that there is indeed a condition. And the condition is a relationship. You have spent time with them, so much time with them. You have known them throughout. This has generated a bond between you and that person. And it's perfectly beautiful in its own way. A mother's love, a father's love is a gift in this world. But it is not, no matter how you look at it, an unconditional love. Because it's based on memory and relationship. It's not an automatic love, which is why some men and women abandon their children. This unconditional love we believe we have is not automatic, nor is it without condition. If you truly held unconditional love for your child, then you would hold it for the children in their school, down the street, and the children you meet at the supermarket. Your love for your child to be at the same depth and magnitude as for children that you have never met. No, that can't be right, you might say, but I assure you it is. There is indeed a love that is not personal. It's not owned by the self, the personality, and the mind, and it is not restricted by memories and time. A love that knows no conditions, which is purer than the unconditional love we believed we have felt when we condition it with the personality in terms of relationships. It's felt at such a vast depth that it transcends personality entirely. As a young man, you might call me, this speaker has had many alarming moments. And one that sticks out in my mind, I call it my mind, but it's not my thoughts. They arise automatically like this love that's within both you and me. A time where I just look out at the world and see eternity. See this true love born not of me, not of the personality, but born through me and all around me, expressing simultaneously. You might say that in terms of yourself, what you call yourself, you can imagine it as the love that you hold for your children. It cannot be defined and separated from the love the other children you see, the other children you meet on the street or wherever it may be. Children that you have never met up until this point now. You love them with the same love that you love your own children with. But how can that be? Is that not a betrayal of the love between parent and child? No, it's not really. For what is better than that pure love? To live purely, to love your child without condition. To love them not because they are yours and you have a relationship and a memory with them, but because they are truly an extension of yourself. That same I amness that's within you and them and everybody else. This is not to make the two compete, but to distinguish something about the true nature of love. When we as humans can enter the state whereby we see the world without organizing it, no language, labels, scientific dissection, spiritual boxes, religious boxes, memories, or any knowledge or understanding of any kind, trying to fragment and organize what we are seeing. When we are there, we enter a complete and total union with it. As humans in that state of consciousness, we are arguably at the point of personification of humility. Even our spiritual labels give up trying to box up life, and we humbly acknowledge the unknown nature of all this mystery that's manifest, that we call reality. It's really, when we see it, to organize it and to analyze it, to organize the world, is to create an organizer inside of you. And that, in turn, makes the organized outside of you. And separation has begun. And that's where the fall of Eden has begun. Yet it need not be. You need not be separated from the unity of the cosmic heart that's in all. When we're there, when we're not separated from it, when we see it without organizing it, we become the loving witness, the pure awareness at this moment, pure I amness, in the dance of all that is, the expanding creation that can barely be boxed with names and labels. When we are there, when you reach there, what is it that remains? What is it that's felt? What is it that's known? It's something you've always known. It's something you can feel right now. It's pure and potent energy. It's not earned, and it's not found in another or a memory. It's not bought or sold. It's not held. It's not owned. If we ask but once, how do I keep this? We engage the personality, the self, and separate it from it in an instant. Because this pure, potent energy is so bright that nothing in the world can shake it, move it, or come close to it. And nothing in the world can take it from us. Because that is us. It's our identity, this energy. It remains when all the seeking is over. All the searching stops. All the efforts to control it, to find it, to earn it are over. And what remains is the same light that we see in a newborn child's eyes. It's the light of silence. That light arises when the silence is not of the world. The world can be as noisy as possible. It can be filled with chaos. But yet, this silence remains. For this silence is the natural stillness of light abiding in man. The man whose mind has given up all pretense of control and understanding, and has gotten down on his knees. His self has taken a knee. His personality has taken a knee. He's gotten down behind the soul, and he's let the soul let out a mighty roar of I don't know. But that I don't know is still infused with that presentness, that I amness, that I am. Because even when I don't know, I'm still aware that I exist, that I am, along with everything else. In that I amness, in that sense of freedom, in the depths of surrender, that light arises in the human whose self and mind have taken a knee. It's love. It's the light of love. It's pure, directionless, and bright, guiding, compassionate love. That love has no place to go other than out in every single direction, because there's nobody to control it. So when our eyes meet, they look out and see a glorious scene of nature, that all too familiar love that is known, that same love is simultaneously in nature. It's in the eyes of an addict that you meet. It's in the child that you have formed an identity around of. This love does not ricochet inside the perceptions, memories, and conditions of the self. It flows freely from its source into the manifestation of the form of humanity in the human story. So the same love is felt for the addict as for the child, as for your own children and your family. We meet the homeless child who is innocent and is broken, and that love is known, it is felt. And then you meet a murderer, a serial killer who has lost all their innocence. But we see them without judgments, because before the mind can form the judgments and say something, that love is known and felt, because it's not conditioned. That love is the most awesome force of transformation known to man. And that's in us, beneath the us that we thought we were. You have no doubt felt it. When your child was born, when your loved one said I do, whatever it may have been, some moments were so powerful that the mind, the self, and all the toiling, the works of conditioning and trying to control it was silent. And that love is known in that silence. In that moment, it was so powerful, so beautiful. And thus the mind was silenced. And that love that you are, that we are, was known. That love that is in you, behind all things, came forth and shown. You have felt it. Only you felt it as life circumstances. Those circumstances overwhelmed the mind, and it forced the self, the personality, into taking a knee. The mind couldn't control it or organize the beauty. It had no choice but surrender. And thus, as you and this astonishing beauty before you, that love was felt, you were unified. You felt unity. We know these memories, these times of great love. We all know them. Now I say this to you. You can know them even in a hardship, adversity, in the presence of the many lost souls that wander this world in human form. You can be that love. You are that love. That love when it is known and awoken, makes a man crumble. It makes a man weep on his knees. For this is the love that started it all. It's the love without separation. The love that is the I am. It is the pure presence of the generous heart of God pouring forth into all creation. In this wonderful manifestation, this mystery. And it's present in you, as you, and from you. It's expressing to and through you. In human shape and form that you call you. So if the veil of thought is gone, you have come close to this love. More closely than whoever will in this body, most likely. For you have died, and the Christ has been born. The spiritual rebirth. The you that believed you were a personality has died. And yet you, the real you, the loving witness, the willing, able, and honored fellow human being, singing the song of this immense love buried beneath the personality that you thought you were, that love still remains. A great example is Jesus said, if you come to me, but will not leave your family, you cannot be my follower. You must love me more than your mother, your father, your wife, your children, your brothers and your sisters, even more than your own life. Indeed, that's the love. That's the unconditioned love. And it's not a competition. And it's not a request not to love your children or your family. On the contrary, it means not to put that love, that personal conditioned identity, often based in memory, which is not truly love, not to put that sense of separateness, that separate identity before the true love, before the I am that's within everybody. For when I am, the love we are, is, when that is first, then we become the love that allows us to be the most compassionate fathers, mothers, sons, and daughters. Because then we can touch love without the condition of relationship. We can give energy freely, as it is given to us freely. We can become sons and daughters of God. For now we know the love of God. And it's a love that, even if we don't feel it right now, it'll always be within us. It's a love that we always were and always will be. And when the personality is not, and that separateness is gone, that love is felt. So long as that love is, stillness abounds. So long as stillness abounds, that love, that great light born of inner silence, will make men pure, holy, and true. That love is our salvation, our hope, and indeed our goal as men and women. To make that love, that forgiving, healing, love without condition, manifest through the human story of humanity. Eternally, forever, and evermore. For you are that love. You do not need to love anyone in terms of should, because when that I am is there, and that true love is, the whole notion of should is gone. It's replaced by a love that loves with the same ease with which your skin accepts a cold spring breeze. You need to become an opening in this world so that love can do its will and work in the shape and form you once mistook for your name, your nationality, your relationships, your memory, your personality. It's beyond this. Because you are the love, that unconditional love, that truth. And you can feel it now. You are it now. And when you do feel it, if the mind says, yes, I feel it, how do I keep it? That's the voice that took it from you. Because that's the voice that leads to that sense of separateness. because that voice can't keep it. It can't control it. Or if the voice says, yes, I want it, now what do I do? Again, that's the voice that's getting in its way. God does not need that voice. The Spirit waits for it to be gone, for its love to be perfected in you. Because you are that love, where the personality is not. And that love, that true love, the loving witness, beyond the many mansions of the mind, beyond the many stories, that loving witness knows this love all too well. It is that love. So may these words remind you of this and bring the return of that loving witness into sight, into your life, into our life. There's no separate life. It's all one collective whole. And as you see this, as you are here, a being that we've pointed at with the term human, which is label, right? Your core nature, your I amness, is something so immensely divine. And when it's found, it brings you closer to God than you have been or ever will be. And you are it now. It need not be found. It's simply witnessed within, in the light of that silence. And you can all be in that place, that space. So we want to know it before we explore the mysteries of life, the divine, in the world we're in. This vast, mysterious creation. We want to know who we are, what we truly are. Because if not, we'll get lost in the personality. And we'll suffer in an endless stream of spiritual or otherwise identities. And lose the loving witness, perhaps for a lifetime. But that need not be. Because we can stay there. We can stay in that light of silence as the witness for a time and rest with the peace that surpasses all of it. To stay with your I amness, our I amness, and learn from this. To stay there until you know it and how to rest. To rest in it at will. For when you learn to rest there, you're learning to rest in the heart, the love, the presence, the guidance, the light, the comfort, protection, and stillness of God. Not as an idea, not as a concept or a belief, but in the same way you rest in the arms of your loved one. You can rest in the arms of the I am, which are the arms of an awesome, wondrous, compassionate, and eternally loving God. All the glory be to this I am, within us and all around us, as it expresses and joins us here in this epic dance of creation, compassion, love, life, and unity. Who is the one speaking? I stand here, I sit here, whatever the label, totally aware of my name. I'm aware of my nationality, and my relationships, and my roles. I'm aware of all these labels that I would like to describe myself with. So what do I do? Who is the speaker? What will a label do? The one that is speaking when all is said and done. Who is that speaker? What is that speaker? It's the I am. The I am without a label. Just as the one listening to this, when all is said and done, when all is hung on the tree, I am is also. We are the mystery manifest. We are the word manifest, and we must give thanks for that. We must give thanks for that always. That sense of continuous gratitude. We can walk in the wonder. Under this big blue wonder. This space, this sky. This vast mystery. And we can breathe in the awe, the wonder, the mystery, and its sights every day. Just as we did in Eden. Before the fall. Before that sense of separation. So may the great I am, that love, be always with you. The awareness of that stillness beneath thought, where that still silence bursts the great light. is no doubt the love of Christ. And it's made manifest in this human story all around us for all eternity. Thank you.